What is up, Pete? MZDTV and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Talk Thing, where we talk about a lot of random shit. And today we're going to be talking about another story that I had in my childhood. A pretty fucked up one, I'm not going to lie. Now, this again was in my childhood during high school, the early stages of high school. I'd say around year 10. In UK it's year 10, so I guess I was around 14, 15 then. I'm not too sure. I don't remember very well. Now, me and my friends, being guys, we always like to, you know, just wrestle and tussle a bit. You know, sometimes you get the times where you just start punching each other. Doing a game of blow to blow is what we would call it. We literally just punch someone's arm and then you punch it back until someone's arm goes dead, and we're like, okay, please stop, just stop, you win. And for some reason, we was getting into the idea of headlocks. So if you don't know what a headlock is, I think it's self-explanatory, but if you don't know what a headlock is, alright, you get your arm around their neck, and their head obviously is just poking out of your arm. Poking out your... what the fuck? Basically, it's just wrapping your arm around their head, and then it's locked in place, hence the name. But I developed this as, essentially, I'm going to call it a reputation, but I wouldn't call it that. But I'm going to use that term, a reputation for having a headlock that you can't break. Now, this reputation was only between me and my friends. It wasn't between the whole school. It wasn't what people knew me for. It's just between my friends, right? So I'd give people headlocks, okay? And I would, like, literally just hold my two hands together to lock it in place. And whenever they... and my friends would try and break out of it, okay? And I'll try my best to hold it in place, which is a really bad idea when you come to think of it. So every now and then, I'll get a friend in a headlock. They didn't break out, yada yada. I still had that reputation between my friends, until one of my friends came along, was like, yo, listen, alright, I'm gonna break out of this shit. You're gonna put me in a headlock and I'm gonna break out of it. So as I did, I was like, okay then, let's do this, let's go. So I get him in a headlock, alright, and he's rustling, tussling, and I'm like, you know, just trying to hold on while he's rustling about. And I'd say about 30 seconds went by, which is quite a lot of time when it comes to that, but 30 seconds went by, let's say that, until he's like, ah, fuck. And I stopped, and I was like, are you okay? You're right. And he's like, nah, I feel this sharp pain in my shoulder, near the shoulder area. And the funny thing is, at the same time, okay, my head of year, so in our school we'd have every year group would have a head of year, came over, saw us rustling and tussling, came over to tell us to stop, alright, and he wasn't like your average teacher. He was quite cool with the kids, alright. He's just a chilled teacher, and he was one of those teachers you would look forward to having a lesson with, alright? So he came joking about it, and he started like kicking the guy who had the pain in his shoulder, but as a joke, not literally pounding him, but it's just like, you know, imitating a kicking motion whilst putting it towards him. What the fuck am I saying? So he was fake kicking him as a joke, saying, oi, get up, alright, stop, get up. And eventually he did get up, and then he decided to go see the nurse. So he decided to go to the nurse, and he ended up coming out, okay, about, I'd say a few minutes later, right? This was lunchtime, okay, so this was around the lunchtime period. So he came out like a few minutes later with like a, what is it called? Like a thing that holds your arm together. Not really holds your arm together, but kind of holds it in place. Like I think it's called like a bandage. We would call it a bandage in the UK, like a triangular bandage. You wrap it around your arm, it goes over your neck, and it holds your arm in place. So you probably know what I'm talking about. And then he's like, I dislocated my shoulder, and I was like, what the fuck? And then he goes on to tell me, alright, that he tried popping it back in place only to catch a nerve. So he had to get it popped back out and then put back in, which put him in a crap ton of pain. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, this headlock, okay, I'm sorry. Right, I didn't mean to do this to you, yeah? But you wanted this. You asked for it, mate. Nah, I'm only joking. I did feel kind of guilty, though, because it was my headlock that led that to happening. I know I didn't intend to do it, but I did feel guilty, you know? And I said sorry. I was like, I didn't mean for that. And the joke kicking that this teacher was doing made it worse. But on the same day, I think he went down to the hospital or to the doctors or somewhere like that. And he also turned out that he had a broken collarbone at the same time. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like... no, I refuse to believe that my headlock alone, and just the fucking around in general, led to him getting a broken collarbone and a dislocated shoulder. Like, that needs some serious pressure, that needs some serious force to go and break your collarbone and dislocate your fucking shoulder, okay? But that's what happened, and everyone thought actually that it was that situation that led to that happening. And one funny thing is as well, like a few days later, alright, because I used to walk home from school with him every now and then. Do you know what, guys? I give up. I can't English. I give up. I give up. So we would go home from school, alright, together, because we lived pretty close together. We lived on the same area, the same estate. If you remember my first video, RL, he lived in there as well. And one time I was walking home and I think one of his relatives, like his older relatives, like his cousin or something like that, or someone he knew, alright? He was a pretty big man, alright? Now, we was walking home together, and he goes to me, he's like, I swear, if I find out who broke your collarbone, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And I was like, shit. Thankfully, he did not find out it was me, and he still doesn't know it was me. And my friend as well said, don't worry, mate, I'm not gonna go tell him, alright? It's stupid, it was just a joke, it was a fuck around, you didn't mean it, and it was just a situation that unfolded. So that was the story, guys. I know it's not as extreme as the previous episode, but it was something that happened, and so it's just a what the fuck moment, you know? Let me know in the comments down below if you had any similar situations in your life, or in your childhood, or if you are going through one of those situations right now. I'd like to know your stories as well in the comments down below. So again, thank you for watching this video, liking and subscribing, and peace.